Okay, hello again, everybody. Welcome back, and we're back at the Iron Crane Dojo. We're going to take a detour from cane just for a brief bit, and then we'll return to the cane before very long. We were talking about internal concepts several months ago, and I had gotten some contacts from friends who were questioning about how to dissolve energy or how to resolve incoming energy. And there's a sequence of moves that I like to employ for that purpose that isolates incoming energies into several different areas or categories, and then sets up specific responses and ways to address each of those incoming energies. And I'm just going to share that with you all right now. Helping me is Terry, Sensei Terry. You've all met her in the past, and she's still in the introductory stage of some of this stuff, so as we film, it's a chance for her to get some further exposure to it. Okay, so I'll just describe the moves. If you bring the camera a little bit closer, so she's applying energy or force to her body. The first one that I want to do is circle outside, and I'm emptying it to the left. And as I come back on her, you can see what she's doing. She's rotating around the center line of her body and letting my energy spin off the tangent of that circle. And then she establishes control of the center. Now, as we establish control of the center, we're doing that so we can return the energy. So if I was in a self-defense situation and I wanted to, she came at me, I would just return the energy real quick. So what's happening is you're learning two things. You're learning how to dissolve it to the left, and this is on a horizontal plane. She drops her elbow down, establishes a root in her center, and then comes back at me. And you can watch this. As she pushes straight in on me, you can see how her energy gets traction into my body. But as soon as I rotate, there's nothing there. Okay? Now, say she comes at me as I'm doing this with her left hand. See, when I cross over and take control of the center and I'm about to return it, I also neutralize her left hand. But I also lock her legs down there, so it's very difficult for her to kick. See, if she tried to kick right now, I apply a little tilt, it won't happen. And then I fire on her, I'm able to move her back. So that's the first one. And giving you a different view of this, she comes forward, circle, and I'm circling on the left side of my body. Second one. This is the draining energy. She's here, and I'm going to drain her to my right side. Now this one is like the nuclear bomb of the internal arts. It's called Liu. It's like you're taking the person's energy and just dropping it into a bucket here that collects energy and just puts it back into the ground. So it works against almost everything once you learn how to do it. Somebody comes in, and you empty them. And you might notice, of course, it looks a little bit like an arm bar. It's one of the applications of Liu. But also an application of Liu is firing back on the person, just returning the energy. The position that the arm takes is much like a pole, and I'm using this pole formation to attach to her center line, and I fire it. And you can see the kind of enormous leverage I have when I do that. So in, now the thing about this is I'm not grabbing her and holding her. I'm relaxing into this. She fires, and I just position her down. And if you take a look at my hands, just put the camera in my hands. See, I'm not grasping her at all. I'm just relaxed onto her body. Look, see it? See it? And I'm just using my thought to move her. Right here. Okay, now, if you play this out in a flow, she comes in, I go down, and I return it. And as I return it, because I'm down here, I have to return it at an angle and into her center line. And then she takes it down, same way, and she returns it to me. And I take it down, and I return it to her. She takes it down, and so forth. Okay, so that would be example number 2. Example number 3, we'll have you positioned here. And this is like the uphill ski slope. She applies pressure, I empty it up here, on high. Again, she applies pressure, I empty it up here, I slide it on high. Again, on high. Then I go to center, and I fire back. And she empties on high, on high, on high. See it? And when I go to center, I go straight down and in. Again, I go straight down and in. So when I fire back at her, she goes ski slope, straight down, and turns it over, and fires on me. Again, straight up, drop, and fire. And actually move. In and fires. Okay. So you can see the kind of energy that she's able to deliver with it. Basically what happens is you take what's coming in and you convert it to this. Okay, so I just take it and I add a little bit more onto it and it moves the opponent away. So that's number 3. Number 4 is a permutation of number 3. I go up, over, and I'm coming at the other side of her body just as I would be countering with number 2. I'm coming at an angle. So she goes up, over, she's coming here. I go up, over, and in. Up, over, in, up. Over, in, up, over. And you can still see how efficient this becomes once you get used to the flow. Once you get used to it, it's very comfortable. At any point in time, you can fire. But the firing takes a little bit of practice. You have to get a lot of experience. We're just showing you the setup on these techniques so that you know how to neutralize incoming energy. Once you understand this stuff, anything that's coming at you, you'll be able to neutralize. After you practice this a bit, develop some confidence. This is not the same as hard blocks. This is neutralizing in the middle of a flow with subtle changes in the geometry between yourself and your opponent. Number 5, we call this the butterfly. There's a circle on the left side, and there will come times when you don't empty all the energy on the left side. There's still some energy coming in, so I go to the right side and drain a little bit more out on that side, and then I return the move. Okay? I circle left, circle right, fire back. Left, right, fire. So 1, 2, 1, 2. You can see it here, back, here. Now bring the camera over to the side. If you want. I'm grabbing your arm. Bring the camera over here. Well, number 5, this is the first one. This is why we call it the butterfly. There's one part of a wing there. There's another part of a wing here. One part of a wing here. Another part of a wing here. And you can see there's a little curly cue here. On this side. I'm here, back, and out. And that's where I really get the ability to fire. I relax your intimate, and then I fire. Number 6 is the up and away slant. So she presses, and I go up and away. This is like the high part of number 2. Number 2 is where we went down. Somebody says, well, what happens if you can't go down? Somebody goes high when you do the same move. It's the same concept. You're dissolving it to the ceiling or to the sky. Actually, what's happening is you're lifting it up and dripping it out to your body here. You take her here to where there's no energy left. It goes down. You go to center, and then you return it. Now, if I want to make this more interesting, I can step back and forward with it. And then by doing that, I augment the geometry and I create additional power incentives in my response. So as I come forward, she steps back, and she goes forward with me, and you see how she loads the energy into it. Number 7 is what we call the yang move. It's an outside circle. So she comes in, I circle out, cover, and go in. Okay, just a quick move. It's more of a hand control kind of dynamic. So we just keep it going, and then I come back and I do it. I push toward her, she goes over the top, around, and fires. And we have other videos on yang moves which you can find. Here, down, I get centered, and fire. 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 What's nice about this is in the middle of any of the other moves, I could be doing the liu, and I could do this as part of the return energy technique. And you can see how she'll go airborne, because I'm adding all sorts of geometry and energy inputs at various points on her body as we do them. The next one is the yin. She comes forward, I resolve underneath her, come over the top, and return. Okay, so I'm underneath, over the top, return. Underneath, over the top, return, underneath. And so look how soft it is. See, I'm not grabbing her hand at all. And one thing I want you to get is with number 7 and number 8. Number 7 was the yang, and you're going like this. I'm not fighting her arm as I'm doing this. I'm letting her come forward on me a bit, and then I change my angle. Now it's very easy to go around the line of her arm and change the geometry. On the next one, she comes forward, I slide under the angle and back in. Again, see it? I'm not fighting the arm as we do that. If I tried to do it here, I'd be fighting her whole body. It just wouldn't work. Okay, number 9 is the quick capture of energy and quick return. This is like a shotgun kind of move. This is really quick though. She comes forward, I capture it and give it back to her. So I'm just taking her energy and bouncing it. You can try it back it now. I give her a chance to get shot. All she does is as soon as I come forward, she captures it, turns it, and fires right back. I come forward, captures and fires. And this takes tremendous practice and timing to get. So she comes in, I fire. In, I fire. In, I fire. See, in, I fire. And she doesn't have as much exposure to this as I know you'll achieve with a little bit of practice, and that she'll achieve if she hangs around here for a while. But it's as I come in, it's a quick turn and fires right back. Yes, that was nice. And you can actually feel the difference as it loads. Okay, so that's number 9. Number 10 is a downward emptying energy on the left side. So she's over here once again. She fires, and I take her down. I roll my elbow vertical and fire back at her, and she empties down. Rolls the elbow vertical, fires, vertical, fire. What I meant was down there a second ago. Fire, down, fire, down, fire. Okay? So it's sort of like the loo on the other side, which is over here. Sort of the counterpart to it. Now, when you do the down and empty, you're here and you roll your hand so you can get a good clean energy input into the body. So all she does, she goes down and just rolls her hand inside and returns the fire right there. See, she's attaching to her center line and she moves into me now. Good. Number 11, and this will be the final one, we call this the parachute because it sort of looks like a parachute. She's here, she's down, and I fire. In, all I'm doing is up, down. Now, as you practice together, you go up, down, and then fire back at her. She goes up, down, comes in, up, down, and then fire, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So that's 11 possibilities. The way you practice them is you figure them out on one side, then practice them on the opposite side, and then what I'll do as part of a loosening up routine or a routine to develop flexibility in my shoulders is I'll do 10 repetitions of each one of those, focusing carefully mentally on the dynamics that are unfolding as I do it. And I'll do my whole right side and my whole left side. It takes about 20 minutes and it's a great little workout. So there's a lot there for you to digest and a whole lot for you to experiment with. Tie that in with the other internal concepts that we talked about in the past, and I know you'll experience a lot of personal growth. Take care.